أرحب بهدير عمر وياسمين سليمان. Hello, كيفكم؟ Hadir and Yasmin will be giving a talk under the title Hekayat, how we did it our way. Hadir and Yasmin are from Tasmeem Doha. So a group of 4 young women from diverse backgrounds took Tasmeem Doha 2019 as a challenge and mission to celebrate the complexity and value of narrative and creative practice and highlight those various stories through the lens of their multi-layered and rich context. Please, you can take the stage. Thank you.
Masal khair. This is probably the last of the Arabic that I'll talk. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here. This is our first time in Amman Design Week, and we're having a blast so far. So as Mona kindly introduced us, my name is Yasmin Sleiman, and with me is Hadir Omar. We're actually representing half of the team that worked with us on a conference that we put together earlier this year in March. The conference took place at VCU Arts Qatar, which is a university. The main campus is in Richmond, Virginia. And the university is the only one that is teaching art and design in Doha in Qatar. And the conference is called Tasmeem Doha. And it happens every 2 years at the university. It took place, it first started at 2004. And so 2019 was its 10th edition because it switched into a biennial model after 2011. And the conference really tries to highlight new themes. Every edition is a different theme. It's a different group that organizes it as well. So it's a very dynamic conference. As you can probably see, there's a lot of different events and activities and programs that kind of explores art and design from multiple perspectives. So it's not static at all, and it gets quite exciting. We also engage in a lot of critical discussions, a lot of creative thinking, design thinking as well. And as you can see, the university kind of transforms itself. We kind of shut down the school, there are no classes, and we kind of transform the entire interior and exterior of the space to host all of these different activities and engages the entire community as well.
So for us, the conference it's not just a conference. Like for us, the school itself, it wants to raise awareness about art and design. That's the objective of the school the whole time, the vision of it. And for us, we wanted from the beginning, since 2004, is to raise awareness about what design can actually do and what art also can do. And we wanted to expose ourselves out there and raise these questions to the public and also ourselves. And for us is one of the things that we wanted to make it that open and not exclusive to a group of people, especially with artists and designers. We wanted to reach to more people, and we thought of the common way or common method to do that, which would be with storytelling. Storytelling is a method used since forever, and then we use it in a way to attract for over the summer, just trying to figure out and collect information about how we're going to tell the story, how we're going to make the public engaged in what we do. And because design, usually people show the outcomes when they are proud of their outcomes, but they kind of try to hide all the mistakes and all the ups and downs and the prototypes and all of that and the failures. And we want to actually show the opposite. So to do so, we had a program. We started to create a program for the event. It's a 3-day event that we wanted to use the typical program structure, which having some talks, some workshops. We have also an exhibition, all of that. But we wanted to put the twist of Hekayat on it. So to do that, we had a group of students. We started an initiative to start an internship program in the university for the juniors in our school, because we have a lot of students, right? And they're all designers and artists that we thought, okay, let's bring them on and to be with us in the beginning of that process. So some of them, they're graphic designers, others they're interior art from the art history department. Also, they start playing with the branding, start to figure out how we can translate this concept throughout the whole narrative, offline, online. Also, like how we're gonna find the relationship between the Arabic and the English, and also regarding to like all the making. It's okay. Whoa. Okay. Also, the interior of the place. We want to transform the university. We want it to be more experiential. People remember the experience. People remember your story when it's more experience and there's like emotions and feelings with it. So we wanted the space to be more cozy. You feel it like when you see even the brand and how we were working on the brand. We worked with a team in our school. So we had faculty and students that they teamed up with us, and we collaborated with them to do for the first time our merchandise. And they were working parallel with our communication department team and the marketing team to create a visual language or a brand system that could be flexible enough that could be under it anything. And yeah.
So we also had a lot of initiatives and ways in which we wanted to engage the students and the faculty and the community as well. And one of them was in Tasmeem in the classroom. This was actually a program we inherited from previous editions, but it was a way to embed the theme of Tasmeem into the classrooms to allow students the time to engage with the theme in their coursework, to demonstrate it and express it in very different ways. And what resulted was an exhibition during Tasmeem that was curated of the outcomes, selected outcomes from that program. Something that we also initiated for this edition of Tasmeem for Hekayat was Next Geo, which means next generation. And this program was directed for students. And we had 5 students from the Richmond campus in the United States, and we had 5 students from the Qatar campus. And we basically gave them the platform to actually lead a workshop during Tasmeem. So usually we only have these international workshop leaders, they're professional practitioners, but this time we really wanted to extend the opportunity to students and to really empower them and give them that stage to try it for a change. And it was actually really successful, and it was very engaging, and the students did a brilliant job. And it was a great experience for them and a learning experience because they were also able to kind of engage in the community in a different way that they hadn't had before. On the side as well were a lot of different activities and side activities that were developed by students and by faculty, and some of them were collaborations. So Lemme, mini golf, Kushk. Sonic Geo was the one that was by faculty and students. So it was an elective course that a faculty put together, and the students designed their own sound bites. And during the event, actually performed to the public the sounds that they designed and they created. And it was actually really exciting to see the entire kind of audience gather around them and to really enjoy it and, again, enhance the experience of the event. So we also have talks, like most conferences do. But the way that we wanted to kind of deal with the talks was it was very selective. So we really researched on the speakers that we wanted to have. And we really asked them to highlight the theme in terms of really discussing the process and not just showcasing to us a really nice portfolio, which is usually what happens. What was more important for us as well is, again, like what Tadir was saying in terms of experience. So even as you can see in the layout of the space, we kind of wanted everyone to gather around the speaker like they were telling a story, like they were sharing a story around a campfire type of experience. And it automatically changed the whole dynamic of the space and the whole dynamic of how people engaged with the talks and the speakers. What followed from the talks was also panel discussions, and that was an opportunity for us to highlight to the audience how a theme like Hekayat can be explored from multiple perspectives. So each one of these speakers really spoke about Hekayat and theme from their own points of view, from their own work, and that was great to witness. We also established what we called Suwalif session. Suwalif in like Khaliji dialect is to chit chat, in Solif together. So what that was about was giving the audience a chance to have a more intimate conversation with the speakers, because some of us are introverts. We don't like to put our hands up when there's like a pack full of people and ask questions. So this really allowed students and the audience to have more intimate conversations with the speakers and to relate better to them. We also had a series of gallery openings and exhibitions. So this particular one was a research project that involved faculty and students at the university, and this was exhibited in a different venue in the city. So again, it's also a way for us to extend the platform of Tasmeem outside the walls of the university. And it's also just kind of expressing different ways of showcasing design. We also had an Iranian artist visiting from Tehran who gave a captivating 45-minute audiovisual performance. And again, showcasing to the community in Doha the different ways in which design and art and the creative journey can be expressed.
So that was the conference, and throughout the whole years, we wanted to show what was happening in the school. There was so much happening, and there were so many moments that we wanted to tell people to welcome them at least to the event. So for us, social media was something that we used it as a key component that was the core that to kind of project what was happening in the school and tell the public to join us. And we were using it from the beginning to show the decisions that we were taking throughout the year. And even during the conference, it was great to track and assess what we were doing because we were all over the place. It was such a big event that we couldn't kind of see what was happening in the whole conference. But for us, social media was good to kind of update us with how people were experiencing the conference and how they were portraying it also to their friends and the community, and also how they celebrated the fact that we were the four co-chairs. We were the first graduates from the school, women from this region, and they kind of relate to us, and the way they celebrated also that was great to see and witness online. Also, as part of the process of making that conference, we had to do a dissemination, which is at the end of every cycle of this conference. And we thought of traditionally, they used to do a publication for us and show it to the public. But for us this time, we wanted to, because of the conference and the nature of our process, we wanted to have a mini experience of Tasmeem, kind of like spreading it and showing it to the other communities. And we started that with a London Design Fair, which happened 2 weeks ago. And the setup was also in the conference. We took a booth that we wanted the public kind of experience a mini Tasmeem. The main thing was the huge wall of our process. So the people entered and they saw the making of this conference. Every bit of it was, and we were selling also our merch. So the people were coming and they're interacting with us, and the process wall made it less commercial, less about the conference, more about what the thinking behind this conference, the brains behind the conference, who did that, the effort. And people started asking us questions about the culture, designers, how women are being portrayed there, how they're using art and design to talk about controversial issues. And it was great, and this was the wall. And you would see a lot of moments of things that was here and there that we were trying to explore, and maybe it was not like at the end there, but like these were in the process of making the conference. Also, we were selling the merchandise, and at that time we were selling it in London, and also one of our faculty was selling it in New York in the book fair, which was great also to have that kind of exposure.
So what are the possibilities? I think this is kind of the first time for the both of us and for the conference to kind of, for us to kind of have time to reflect on it and to kind of really reflect on what worked and what didn't, and how we kind of envisioned this moving forward. And I think from a lot of what we witnessed during the event and how we put it together, and kind of the aftermath of it till now, is that we don't want to lose the momentum that we kind of created. There was a wonderful spirit that was created in that, during those 3 days. And it's always a shame to kind of see it, slowly fizzle away until the next edition happens in 2 years. And so the way that we're kind of envisioning this moving forward is that we actually stretch the timeline of Tasmeem. We kind of dance around with the idea throughout the year. And instead of just having it, all of these events wrapped up into one conference, that we actually have these smaller events, exhibitions, talks, different activities and workshops happen throughout the year, and that way you kind of maintain the momentum that the conference kind of imbued. And we're welcomed for any kind of questions. We wanted to keep the presentation quite short for kind of any discussions or conversations, any curiosities you guys have of the university, of the conference, anything at all. Thank you for your time. Both me and Hadir have been at the university as students. And so we've attended Tasmeems from a student perspective. And so to get the chance to organize one really gave us a lot of precedent to reflect on, but also in a lot of the different design weeks and events that we've attended, also witnessing what worked, what didn't, how do these things actually sustain over time. And I think Amman Design Week is a great example of it because, if I'm not wrong, platform was kind of created as a way to extend the timeline of Amman Design Week and to be able to offer all of these different opportunities as well for the community, that it's not just for that week. And in a similar sense, that's also kind of how we envision Tasmeem moving forward, is that it kind of starts to follow that model as well.
Yeah, I agree. And then that way you stay connected to your audience. It's not like they have to wait 2 years for it. Like, no, like you have to wait every few months. There's a new thing going on. So,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
First of all, thank you very much. I'm very inspired by your work. I'm a graphic designer myself, and I'm a fresh grad. So I think the fact that you managed to organize such a big event for a whole year, that's like, I can't really imagine the challenges you went through. But yeah, thank you very much. And now I'm just really curious about to see all this kind of work, the results. So you said you already published a book, or usually you do a publication, and I'm wondering now, how can I find it to take a look?
So it's the previous editions have published their work. We've actually chosen not to kind of have it in a physical printed publication. We thought that for us and for the way that we've engaged with the theme, that coming to Amman Design Week to kind of discuss it, going to London to exhibit it, was far more engaging in terms of the conversations that come out of it. But we do have a very active Instagram account, and our website also features all of the talks and the workshops and a lot more information and details on that. We don't want to bore you guys with all of the details, so
There's also in the school itself, we have so many other initiatives. So it's not just Tasmeem. So we have also a lot of faculty and students and projects that comes out of every department, that they do a lot of publications and a lot of zines, a lot of the studio that we collaborated with for the merchandise. There are also faculty and students that they collaborated with us, that they have also their own collections of publications that they do, posters, zines, whatever, you name it. So and they also they explore so many different themes. So it's not just storytelling, it's just that we wanted to collaborate with them because we like their style, we're familiar with them, and they're embedded in the school, so it's easy to work with. But it's these kind of publications or translations for the outcomes, it was something that we wanted to explore. As Ismail was saying, the conference being translated into a booth is completely different than our talk now. It's different than our Instagram account. They're all different ways of talking to the audience and just blurring the lines between these disciplines and starting conversations that it's more relatable, and that people would kind of a little bit appreciate why we go through all of this. It's not just like we're drawing and illustrating. You know, it's like it's not just doing for fun. Like they're actually a long process that that we witness to do that.
Thank you very much, guys.